Right, here we are then, round number 4 of F1 My Team season number 7, and we are here for the Monaco Grand Prix. If you guys haven't seen the previous one, Portimao round 3, the Portuguese Grand Prix, go check it out, link up in the top right as always. And if you're going to enjoy this one, leave a like and subscribe for more, as we're going to tackle qualifying here in Monaco, which in my opinion is the main event of the weekend, because the race is fine, but you know, qualifying is when you really push the car to the limits and see how fast you can go around one of the greatest street circuits in the world. Now in the background, you just see me take care of a few activities. We're now going to move into a few other sections, including our first upgrade for durability from Mercedes for the general wear, which arrives on the 11th. So that's good to see. In the meantime, we got interrupted by a department event for the power unit, and essentially the staff want areas to kind of chill out, kick back and kind of relax during their free time to improve morale, which I happily agreed to. Now, we pushed on with the simulation. We had an interview with Buxton, which I did do, but I'm not going to show you because the questions make absolutely no sense. We're so far into this crew right now that literally things don't really add up anymore. And confirmation of the supplier upgrade from Mercedes for general wear arriving on the car this weekend. Now, jump into qualifying. Before we jump into it, I want to mention really quickly, if my voice sounds weird because I'm currently ill. It's been about 2 weeks now I've been ill, and I can't seem to shake this off, but I've been pretty rough the last couple of days. So bear with me for this one and also for the race tomorrow. But nonetheless, we're going to jump into qualifying and into Q1 specifically. I'm going to go through the setup and make the adjustments. So we're going to go a little bit less on the front wing. We're going to go for 10-11 for a bit of stability, and then our usual 4-8 on the ride height to make sure we don't have any underfloor damage. And then brake-wise, I'm going to go a bit lower than usual here. I'm going to go for 78 on the brake pressure to avoid locking as much as possible. And then also tyre pressures, of course, we're going to run the fronts on the minimum, and then the rears pretty much in the centre. So yeah, we're going to see if that can avoid potential tyre overheating. Now, one thing you might notice in this qualifying is that the car livery is a little bit messed up on the halo. Not fully sure why. I know there was a patch yesterday, 1.17, and I think that seems to have messed up my game a little bit, so I will fix the livery for the race, so don't worry about that. Hopefully we should be fine, but you're going to have to bear with it for qualifying. Now in the background you can see we've currently completed our first lap on the soft tyres. We then went for a cool down lap and then a second push lap on the same tyres, and I was able to find quite a bit of time, especially in sector number 3, as you can see here. We're 3.5 tenths up, making our way up to the line, and it's going to move us into the top 8 with a purple sector 3. And after that I went back to the pits. I had a little look at the lap times to see if we were safe. You can see the gap from Matsushita up to us in P8 is about 6 tenths, so there's no real threat. So we're not going to go back out in Q1. We're going to retire from the session and get into Q2. You can see Gasly up in the top 5 as well, and so far so good. We're off to a decent start. Leclerc quickest with a 1 minute 6.1. Some of those lap times aren't fully accurate, so don't read into them too much. But we now move into Q2. Now, in this session, after doing the Q1, I kind of realised the setup wasn't fully, in the sweet spot. So I changed the wings back to 11-11. I increased the diff to 58 on the off diff, and then I also added 1 click of front tyre pressure on both left and right front. Now then, we are going to go on track. We're going to go for, I think this is actually a used set of tyres, if I'm not mistaken, on this first run. And we're going to make our way through turns 4 and 5, and we hit the wall, which gives us wing damage. So I had to bring the car back to the pits, and essentially we're going to go again. New front wing, straight back out on track, same tyres, and we're going to try again. And you can see here, this time we're half a second up on Christian Lundgaard in P11, as we make our way into the final couple of corners here, trying to see if we can get a decent lap time on the board. Out the final corner, and now opening DRS up to the line, and it's a 1 minute 6.7, a very strong final sector, and we go up into the top 4. Now, the lap is good, and we're probably safe, and we can get to Q3 comfortably, but those tyres were used, and we've done 2 laps on those. So I'm going to put a fresh set of soft tyres on and go again, because if we can get through on this tyre, we'll have a better race tyre to start the race with. So hopefully that makes sense. We're going to try again. So turn 1, nice and aggressive over the curb. Bit of traffic here with I think a Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. No, that's the Red Bull Max Verstappen. So yeah, luckily because of the new patch, the AI guess what? They now get out of the way, which is fantastic. So Verstappen gets out of our way, which is great. Thank you, Codemasters, for the patch, by the way, because this has been ruining our qualifying for quite a while now. As most recently as the last episode in Portimao, where Stroll blocked us on our Q2 lap. So, yeah, happy to see that. And also, we're a tenth and a half up, by the way. So the lap is going really, really well at this point. We've got a bit more traffic up ahead. This is Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, I believe, as we go to the Nouvelle Chicane. Trying to make sure we can not even go that much faster, really. Just make sure that we improve, even if it's by 1,000, just to make sure we start the race on these tyres. So yeah, purple in sector 2, now over 2 tenths up, making our way into La Rascasse. Easy does it through there, and then the final corner, open up with the RS and end the lap, and we're up by 3 tenths as we're going to move up into P2 with the purple sector 3, and only a fraction off Max Verstappen as we get out of his way into turn 1. So that is it for Q2. You can see we're in second place, less than a tenth off Max Verstappen, who was quickest on a 1 minute 6.3. Worth noting, Guan Yu Zhou and Antonio Giovinazzi have time penalties, or in this case, grid penalties for the race tomorrow. Gasly only P14. Not sure what happened to Pierre, but a poor qualifying from him. Now then, we move into Q3, and this first run was, I think, on our tyres that we used in Q1. If I'm not mistaken, we have 1 fresh set of soft tyres left, so I'm saving those for my final run. We unfortunately cut, though, and invalidate through the swimming pool chicane and then get a bit out of shape through the second part as well. To be fair, the lap was quite scruffy, at least in the second half of that. The first sector was actually okay, but the rest wasn't that great. Out to the line, we're going to set a 1 minute 7.0, which isn't valid, but it gives us a banker for the final run and something to aim for.
Car repairs have set us back a little.
Now on that run we did get some underbody damage. Luckily we've got enough time to get the repairs on the car. I'm also going to go ahead and select the final set of soft tyres that we have available to us. And yeah, we're going to jump into what is my final attempt in qualifying. So just get a bit of space here, trying to make sure we keep the tyre temperature as we open up the final corner and get straight onto it. So the RS open, down towards turn number 1. Hard on the brakes, down to third gear for this one as we try to get a nice clean drive out of there. And so far, a great turn 1. Up the hill then, into Massenet, turn number 4 I believe. 4th gear on entry and then shifting up to 5th and back down to 4th and then back up to 5th again through Casino. Then down to 2nd as we run it in a little bit deep into Mirabeau, just outbraking myself slightly. Then through the Lowe's hairpin, 1st gear, easy, patient through here, just take it nice and slow. Then through the next series of right-handers as we go through Portier, we're going to kick out into the tunnel, and we're currently a tenth and a half up, so that puts us on a mid 6.8. Into the Nouvelle Chicane, 3rd gear, way too early on the brakes, and then I have to kind of correct the steering as we turn in, so that loses us pretty much all of our advantage as we head into Tobacco, carrying loads of speed through there, through the chicane as well, the swimming pool, but then we just turn in a bit too early and brush the wall and get wing damage for the second time in this session, and unfortunately that is going to be game over for us in qualifying. So yeah, disappointingly that is it. As you can see, I'm holding up the L as we're taking a big fat L. P10, a disaster Q3, not really something I had in mind, and it doesn't help that Verstappen is P1 on pole with a 1 minute 6.1. So yeah, looking at the pace, I think pole was out of the question. I don't think I had a 0.1 in me, but a 0.3 for P2 could have been possible. If not, definitely P3 was easily achievable. So yeah, we've dropped the ball here, and this is a big issue for the race. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. That is it for qualifying though. Tune in for the race tomorrow. Hopefully my voice is a bit better and I can speak a bit easier as we try to tackle Monaco from P10 on the grid. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed qualifying. Subscribe for more daily F1 content. The race will be live tomorrow, so go check that one out. As always, a massive thank you to the channel members for supporting the content. And finally, as always, check out the 2 videos on your screen right now if you haven't seen them already. But that's it from me here today, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Until then, take care, and just come out from me.